My name is Carrie Ann Stepp, founder and CEO of Vinco Bar Exam Coaching. And today we're going to be talking about 5 things that law students can do with unexpected free time. 6+ years of working with law students, the number one thing that I hear is I would do XYZ if I had enough time. Right? There's a lot of information out there about how to be the best law student you can be, about how to get the best grades you can get, all of these different tips and tricks and things that you can and should be doing. But also, you have to go to class 15 hours a week and read and read through cases, make your outlines, all the things, right? And so you end up sometimes cutting corners or definitely not putting into place the best practices. So if you find yourself with some more time than you would normally have right now, I wanted to talk to you about some ways that you could maximize that time. First, you can fully do your case briefs. Now, if you're a 1L, you might be like, I'm still doing full case briefs, Carrie Ann, and that's great, and you should be doing it. But chances are, if it's your second semester of law school plus, you've probably maybe started taking some shortcuts with your case briefing. And that's fine. Some shortcuts are good and efficient and time saving, and I'm all about that. But oftentimes, students are leaving things out to save time, and sometimes those things are important things. So if you're finding yourself with more time to prepare for class, try going back to that more traditional case brief format, not just because it's the right thing to do. I'm not about that. I'm about doing things that are helpful for you. But if you have more developed case briefs, you can take more efficient class notes. More efficient class notes lead to better foundations for outlining. It's kind of a domino effect. They're all connected. So look at your current briefing system and find out if there is a way that maybe you could put a little bit more into that at this point in time. Next, you can review and summarize your notes after class. I get a lot of pushback on this one. People are always like, okay, I barely have enough time to read, brief, and then move on to the next thing I'm supposed to read and brief. I don't have time to go back through my class notes and summarize them and outline and do everything else I'm supposed to do. So, right now, what you could do is spend 15, 20 minutes after every class going through your notes, looking at what was important, looking at the major themes that came up, looking at any questions you may have or areas that you're concerned about. Write those down, organize things. And this is going to put you in a really good place when you're working on your outline because you're going to have more clarity around what's important because you've been spending some extra time with your notes all along. Do more practice questions. Now, I find a way to basically work do more practice questions into every single video about advice I give on law school and the bar exam. And that's because I firmly believe that practice questions are the best way to be adequately prepared to do well on your exams. And it's another thing that I frequently hear I would do more practice questions if I had more time. So go with that. And if you find that you have some more time right now, fill that time in with extra practice questions. If you were planning on doing, 15 multiple choice questions one day, do 30. If you were planning on doing a couple of short answer questions, do a couple more. Any little bit that you can increase your practice and get exposure to new fact patterns is increasing the chances that you're going to have a better understanding of the material and that you're going to have the skills that you need to answer the questions. Because don't forget, there is a strategy to answering multiple choice questions. IRAC is a science that you need to learn and practice. And so by adding in some extra practice questions, you can assure that not only are you substantively prepared to take on your final exams, but also that you have the skills necessary to do it as well. Break down your outline just a little bit more. The number one problem I see with outlines is that people put way too much in them. So they basically are copying their case briefs over and over again, maybe reformatting them and reorganizing them, maybe making some connections, but ultimately they're not drawing connections and breaking things down enough to make the outline really useful. And a lot of times I hear that students just ran out of time, like they ran into the exam, right? It's like, I was briefing and outlining and preparing for class and doing practice questions, and then it was time for the final. So be intentional with your extra time and actually make sure that you are getting your outline down and condensed to the point where you're really starting to see those connections, that it's a really usable document that you can both memorize from and do practice questions from, and that's really helping you understand the material. And you can use this time to get those page numbers down so it's not this huge, overwhelming amount of material. And finally, you can use your free time to learn a little bit more about the bar exam. I'm regularly shocked by students who are graduating from law school and don't know the sections of the bar exam, don't know how many multiple choice questions, how many essays, don't know the general topics that are going to be tested. Now, you get all the material and all the strategies and all the things you need through your bar prep company and sometimes through your school. I'm not suggesting that you need to know how to pass the bar exam by the time you graduate or have all that knowledge, but throughout law school, it's a good idea to start familiarizing yourself with this test that you're going to have to take at some point. So if you do all of the suggestions from this video and are feeling good about your final exams, you're spending extra time briefing your cases, summarizing your notes, doing more practice questions, breaking down your outlines, you're feeling like you're implementing all your best practices and like you're in good shape for finals, spend your extra time getting a little bit better acquainted with the bar exam. Learn about the different sections of the test, learn about the broad topics that are tested. And then, depending on where you are in your law school career, you can use that information to make decisions about what classes to take, or what kind of help to reach out for, or what kind of plan to make. I hope these tips can give you some guidance on how to productively and efficiently use any free time you may have. So, get back to work, and I will see you in the next video.